Hey Dan K Show fans, it's Dan K Show episode 15. We're talking all kinds of hockey. We're talking warm weather because of this blustery cold in New Jersey. Lucas, a lot of snow here in Wayne, New Jersey.
Absolutely. It took us a little bit by surprise, but here we are, made it to Wayne, ready to go.
Ready to go. Dan K Show coming at you next. Time for Dan K's Three Things. It's a cold Three Things this week, folks, as we tape it outside in the snow before throwing back to ourselves in the warm, cozy studio of Dan K. Lucas, thing number one, isn't it snow outside? You know, it's a lot of snow, a lot of cold weather throughout not just the Northeast, but the Southeast just this go around. There was a spot in Georgia that got 10 inches of snow. Our friends down in the Southeast are going to have to warm up with a little trip to Florida. We'll be meeting them down there. Thing number two, baby, it's cold outside, but it's heating up on the ice. We're halfway through the season now. We've reached that halfway point, that midpoint in the season. We're going to see how the standings shape out in this week's wraparound with Lucas Jones from Studio B of the Dan K Show. And thing number three, new week, new show. We're going to be bringing you all kinds of new things over the next few weeks. We're going to have to get you involved, folks at home. We're trying to make this thing fan-friendly, millennial-friendly, Dan K Show friendly. We're going to bring you all kinds of new gimmicks, new show pieces, and some new segments with Dan and Lucas. All this and more next on The Dan K Show.
The Dan K Show's coming to your town. The Dan K Show, covering everything USPHL, from the NCDC, Premier and Elite. The Dan K Show, starring Dan K and Lucas Jones.
Dan K alongside Lucas Jones here. We've got our hot cups of cocoa here in our mugs because it's cold, it's blustery, it's windy, and it's snowy outside of the Dan K studios here in Wayne, New Jersey. So you know what? Know what we did, Lucas? We decided to head down to the Florida Junior Blade Showcase, and that's where we're going this weekend. If you're watching today, that means that you're 1 day away from seeing Dan and Lucas in Florida, Estero, Florida, for the Florida Junior Blade Showcase, one of the most fun weekends on the USPHL Showcase Series schedule. How excited are you for this trip?
Very, very excited, Dan. You know, those teams down there, they play a very fast and loose kind of hockey. I'm excited to see it. It's one thing to, watch these games on hockey TV. It's quite another thing to be down there. And, nice little added benefit, it's going to be much warmer than it is up here.
Way warmer than it is here. It's going to be beautiful. I'm going to try to not sunburn myself. I'm going to just keep myself cool by rinkside when I need to, watching some incredible hockey. Let's talk about how incredible that hockey is, though, Lucas. The teams in the Southeast, teams in Florida, all going to be meeting up in Estero, Florida for this one. Let's talk about the brand of hockey they're playing, the style, the skill, the speed, the open ice. What should people expect if they're watching at home on hockey TV from the cold Northeast or Midwest or wherever in the USPHL blanket you're watching from? Talk to them about what they should be expecting on hockey TV.
Well, if you're watching, you're going to be seeing a lot of open ice. These teams, like I said, they play fast and loose. They're offensively geared, but their defense hits hard too. It's an interesting mix. I don't always like to talk about the offensive dominance of the Southern hockey, but that's not to say they neglect their defense at all.
No.
It's just that there is so much talent on the offensive side of the puck, and they play so quickly that a lot of the times when you're looking for traditional defenses, when you're looking for, oh, this kid is just a defenseman, this kid is just a left winger, he's not always going to be on the left side, he's not always going to be back by the blue line. They like to get in there and mix it up, and so I'm really excited to actually get down there and see a lot of these teams that previously we've only really watched on hockey TV.
When you watch these teams from the Southeast, from Florida, it's almost a Euro feel to the style of play. That North American style of hockey, it's a lot of dump and chase, right? Dump, chase, go hit, like Lucas likes to play NHL 18 on PS4. It's a lot of that dump and chase, a lot of the forecheck game, a lot of that physical brand of hockey, you know what I mean? Cheating on those face-offs, getting every inch you can get. They play a lot of open ice, they play a lot of carry-in, they play a lot of carry and fire, you know what I mean? Look for the odd angles off the goaltenders, look for those deflections, crash that net, and make goals happen. It's fun to watch, and we don't get to watch enough of it, you know what I mean? Being up here, we don't get to go down to the Southeast every day and go watch, as much as we'd love to be in the Southeast this time of year. we're getting a chance to. If you get a chance to, you need to get down and watch it. Some of the goaltending down there, some of the players down there, they're going to want to showcase themselves because we're talking about the offenses. But we have a goaltender coach we're going to be talking to down there that worked with Chase McKay of the USPHL, who worked with our man Perry Spike with the USPHL. You know, a lot of great goaltenders in this USPHL landscape. We're going to be talking to some of these guys. They're going to want to show up to really stop these offenses with us in front of them.
Oh, absolutely. You know, those goaltenders really, really work hard on those teams. And, you know, you mentioned the goaltending coach and kind of what he's been doing down there. And one of the other things that's going to be great about this trip, Dan, is finally getting to go meet a lot of the people that we've been talking to just over the digital communication. So this weekend is going to be a lot of us finally getting to meet the real people behind the tweets and the videos and the emails and the phone calls. And everybody down there that I've talked to is so excited for the showcase. Yep. They've been just telling us which games to go see, like what's the best rink for them, you know, oh, you should definitely go, you know, to this place, talk to this person. So we're very excited to get down to Florida, down to Estero for the weekend, and see some hockey.
You know, we're going to see some hockey. You look at what the Blades who are hosting this, you look at Todd Pocock, the head coach there, their premier squad. You look at Tia Priest, who's just behind the scenes making everything happen for this organization. If you haven't watched the things they're putting together, the product they're putting together, you better tune in now because this is next level organizational work here. This is organization of the year type of material. They're really working hard down there, really making things happen. I can't wait to see the kind of showcase they put together, pulling out all the stops, you know, and all the bells and whistles are going to be out for this one. Let's talk about the bells and whistles on the ice. Let's talk about some of the games we're looking forward to seeing.
We're back, folks, and it's time for a little Studio A-B action. Dan's going to come to you from Studio A in Wayne just in a little bit. I'm coming to you from Dan K Show Studio B in New Brunswick, a.k.a. my apartment. You can see my collection of suits in the closet over there and some clothes that have to be ironed for our upcoming Florida trip right there. But let's get into a great game from Friday this past weekend in the Elite Division. I've got the Junior Bruins Elite and the New Hampshire Junior Monarchs Elite. Junior Bruins, they picked up a 4-3 win, but it certainly didn't come easy. We got 2 goals in the first period from the New Hampshire Junior Monarchs Elite team. They love to score early. Jack Engdahl and Tucker Arnold, both goals at even strength. Now I move over to the second period of play. Junior Bruins making themselves felt a little bit late after the Monarchs scored another goal. After the second period of play, you got the Monarchs up 3-1. Junior Bruins not out yet. Junior Bruins come back and tie up the game, scoring 2 goals in the third period. You've got Kieran Gardner and Patrick McCarthy. Patrick scoring that goal in the power play. Love to see a team get involved on the power play to tie it up in the third period. And then that all-important overtime period really comes down to the final minutes. Teams leaving it out there on the ice. And the Junior Bruins Elite team comes away with the win. Chris Cecere at even strength in overtime. He comes away with the game-winning goal. Now let's send it to Dan in Studio A for his game of the weekend.
Lucas, you talked about a great matchup on Friday in the Elite. I've got one from the NCDC level. The South Shore Kings taking on the Syracuse Stars in a battle for playoff positioning right now. These two teams close together in the standings. It was a battle Royale. And coming out victorious in this Battle Royale was the Monarchy. It was the South Shore Kings taking a 5-4 shootout victory. This one started off with a Christoph Stuchlik goal for the South Shore Kings just 3 minutes into this one. Again, in net for the Kings, Tyreek Uten. In net for the Syracuse Stars was Wesley Mankowski. And man, was this a scoring output. After the goal by the Kings, the Stars matched them up. A nice little game-tying goal by Kendrick Frost. He was feeling frosty, feeling frisky, feeling the goal in that one. He was assisted by Mac Hancock and Kaylee Sundell. Coming back was Cedric Bischel in this back-and-forth battle, giving the South Shore Kings a 2-1 lead. The Stars battle back, though, and they fire home 2 of their own, both off the stick of Anthony Sven, a big-time goal scorer for them, number 21. Back-to-back goals make it 3-2 Syracuse. But guess what? In this one, the Kings battle back with a goal of their own. That one coming off the stick of Ethan Nitkin. We're still in the second period at this point. We moved to the third. In that third period, it was Patrick Choi of the Stars giving them one last lead. Could they hold on? Could they make it? That goal was scored with just 2 minutes and 19 seconds left in this one. But no, they could not hold on. The empty net for the Kings creates a scoring chance, and it's Mitchell Walensky sending it to OT. As they go to OT, no one able to score. And the tie is finally broken in the fourth round of a shootout. Tom Terranova is stopped by Tyreek Uten, and the game winner is put home by a Stella shot by Jake Stella. He was stellar for this squad in the shootout. A big-time goal for him and a win for those South Shore Kings, 5-4. Lucas, I heard there was a pretty good game on Sunday as well.
Thanks, Dan. Let's go to one more matchup in the premiere from Sunday. We had Hampton Roads Whalers taking on the Atlanta Knights. Hampton Roads ended up winning this game 3-2, but not without some fireworks early. The Atlanta Knights jumped out to an early lead in the first period with 2 goals off the stick of Evan Schreiber. Now, when a team jumps out to an early first period lead like that, you got to be thinking, well, what are we going to do? How are we going to come back? Well, for Hampton Roads, their strategy was to put 3 goals in the net in the second period. You got Brandon Osmondson, Hayden Knight, Connor Hunt, all teaming up to put 3 goals in the second period for Hampton Roads, and as it turns out, that's all they needed, winning that game 3-2. Well, that was a wrap-up of our games of the weekend from the last weekend. Now let's go into empty net and find out what you guys at home had to say.
You are watching The Dan K Show. Everything USPHL. From the NCDC to the Premier and Elite Leagues. The Dan K Show with Dan K and Lucas Jones.
Empty net time. Lucas, going to the Twitter sphere. Let's see what the folks are talking to us about this week.
Well, we had a whole bunch of people tweeting about the Dan K Show last week. So many, we can't mention them all, but we just want to say thank you so much for continuing to watch the show and being a part of the show. As we like to say, it's basically all for you guys. So if there's anything else you want to see on the show, please let us know and we'll try to incorporate it in. We had the Blue Ox reach out to us, thanking us for talking about them. Thank you guys for making that great video.
Thank you guys for winning games. You know what I mean? The teams in Minnesota, all the teams in Minnesota, because, Lucas, I got to reference one tweet that we got.
That's fine.
From a loyal follower from Minnesota that's at Kosa Yusuf. And, he said the Moose won, and our beloved Blue Ox had a bit of a battle this weekend, and we love all the teams in Minnesota, Kosa. We love the Moose, we love the Blue Ox, we love the names, we love the mullets out there in Minnesota. Come on, Minnesota's leading the league in hockey names right now, and all these teams starting to get into the battle for social media team of the year, I can promise you that one.
Oh, absolutely. We love it. Even when you guys kind of call us out, or I should say more specifically, call me out, because for some reason I'm always the one that gets called out for doing ridiculous stunts or trying to get on the ice. I don't know why he never has to do any of it.
Kosa Yusuf wants to see Lucas on skates as a repayment for messing up a stat last week on the show. Messed up a stat, messed up a goals against stat, and you know what, Kosa Yusuf, he wants revenge. He wants to see Lucas on the ice. Lucas will have to see if he ever accepts that one.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, I will try to get myself out on some ice, because I don't, as the stat guy, I don't like to make mistakes. I try really hard not to. Every once in a while, you get kind of caught up in a little bit of a stat error, but hopefully you could forgive us and we'll keep moving on. And Dan, we actually had some great interaction with the Twin City Thunder last week. We mentioned them on the show, the newest members of the USPHL. Apparently, we are not supposed to ride a moose.
We're not supposed to ride a moose.
Apparently,
Don't ride moose.
Apparently, Twin City Thunder Hockey said, that's right, hashtag Thunder Buddies, with the lobster and the microbrews, come on up, but I'd suggest not riding a moose. To which I replied that, of course, we were not going to ride a moose, but if we encountered one and we were able to train it, we could probably get it back to Jersey with us.
What do you mean, of course we're not going to ride a moose? Of course we are going to ride a moose. I have had 3 moose encounters in my life. All 3 times I attempted to get on top of the moose, ride the moose. All 3 times that moose was just a bit too fast. I'm getting older, I'm getting smarter. I'm getting smarter, Lucas. They're the size of an SUV, maybe a little bigger. I'm going to ride a moose one day in my life. It's on the bucket list. You want to talk Morgan Freeman, Jack Nicholson? I'm talking riding a moose.
All right, well, look, if you want to ride a moose, that's fine. But as the short person on the Dan K Show, I will not be trying to ride anything that's about the size of the SUV.
That is right. Moose are scary, folks. For you at home, I do not suggest you getting involved. Don't get tangled with one. They're scary. They're big. For those of you in the Midwest and Northeast, I'm sure you're aware of that one. Lucas, you know, what should we say to the folks at home? We're trying to. We've been talking with the USPHL marketing team here, you know, and really trying to figure out a way to reach these youths, as Joe Pesci would call it. And again, probably the first way to reach the youths would be to not mention Joe Pesci in My Cousin Vinny on a show, because the reference probably goes missed.
Yeah, there are some of these players who have been born after that movie came out, so probably referencing mid-90s courtroom comedies starring Joe Pesci would not be the first way to reach out. But here's what we're doing. You're going to notice some changes. You're going to notice a lot of new things.
Yes.
This is where you guys come in. So if you like a segment, let us know. If you hate a segment, let us know. If you have ideas, if you want to get on the phone with us and talk to us and do an interview, we can do that. We have the technology. We are trying to make this as interactive of a show as possible, as fun of a show as possible. Because look, we can stand up here and talk about stats in the driest of tones for 20 minutes, and that's not fun for us. It's not fun for you. So we want to have fun with it. We want to have fun with you guys. So please let us know how to improve the show. Let us know what you want to see, and we'll try to make it happen.
Dan K Hotline getting revamped. A little bit of Dan K Lucas Jones battles. You'll see what that's all about coming up. And everything under the sun that we can think of, we'll be bringing to you. It's a show by millennials, for millennials, and it's the Dan K Show. Lucas, parting words. Great parting words from Lucas, as always. When Dan K's on the mic, it's always hockey night. Made by Dan K and Lucas Jones and the USPHL. This has been Dan K, Lucas Jones. For all of you at home, keep on watching.
God, how do we reach millennials? I feel so old asking myself that question.
We're millennials.
I don't know, though.
We're like on the cusp millennials.
I feel like we're right on the edge, because like sometimes they'll say stuff and I don't get it.
Like there's the dabbing.
Yeah, I don't understand. I know that it's a thing, and I know how to do it. I've done it. I don't get why it's a thing. I don't get why, like, apparently that's how people communicate. I've seen people have conversations via dabbing.
Someone once asked me to teach them how to Dougie. I wasn't sure if that was via a song, or is that via, who is Dougie?
I think it's a dance. I think it's one of those, like, dances that are in songs. You know how, like, the best way, for like 4 years, the best way to get a song to be popular was to make up a dance to go with it?
Oh, okay, yes.
I think it's one of those things.
Like Superman.
Yeah, or like
Soldier Boy?
The Electric Slide, or is that's too old? That's
the Electric Slide, that would be pre-Joe Pesci courtroom drama.
Pre-Joe Pesci. Alright, well, I guess we'll have to work on this thing.
Post-Joe Pesci Dan K Show next week.